Hello and welcome. We're excited to share ProjectSight with you. My name is Matt Sprague, Senior Product Marketing Manager for Trimble. This webinar is part of a webinar series designed to explore each of the functional modules that make up ProjectSight. This webinar's focus will be on the budget and cost management module. We will begin with a short overview of ProjectSight, and then I will invite one of our sales engineers, Jimmy Getz, to join us and provide a deeper dive into budget and cost management. ProjectSight is Trimble's next generation solution from the team who brought you Prolog. ProjectSight is built to support project teams in managing construction projects so you can eliminate risks and deliver the work you promised on time and on budget. Trimble's ProjectSight is a construction project management software for budget and cost management, document control, and field management designed specifically for contractors. ProjectSight was built from the ground up to be priced right, scalable and secure, built on the latest cloud technologies, intuitive and easy to use, and comes with unlimited data storage. The system is ready to be used out of the box, but in case you would like to adjust the product to your processes, it can be easily configured. So what comes out of the box? ProjectSight has everything you would expect from a project management solution. Models and drawings, budget and cost management, including the ability to track and manage change, document control, things like RFIs and submittals, field management, where you can track quality and safety. We also provide dashboards and a file library, and ProjectSight also includes Trimble Connect, our collaboration environment that enables architects, engineers, contractors, and owners to collaborate on building projects. So let's dig in a little bit more. The industry standard in construction budget and cost management software helps your project team manage project finances to maximize profits and minimize costs. With over 25 years of successful project deliveries, ProjectSight provides the forward-looking project financial information you need to make better decisions on all of your projects. Particular functionality includes budgets and commitments, purchase orders, payments, contracts, change management, and much, much more. ProjectSight gives you access to all of your drawings in the field. Access the latest drawings with markups and annotations directly on the PDF file, whether you're on your desktop or mobile. Additionally, through Trimble Connect, you can utilize 3D models for design and project management purposes. Or why not look at as-built point clouds and 3D models at the same time to visualize and capture design issues or manage change orders more effectively. Our document control modules ensure that all stakeholders are working from the most up-to-date information available, whether you're in the office or in the field. Team members can collaborate and converse on key RFIs, submittals, and more without having to use paper-based forms. Additional functionality includes meeting minutes, action items, submittals, RFIs, drawings, issues, transmittals, and we're adding more as we continue to evolve. Improved field management with software that establishes direct lines of communication with the field, ensuring everyone is working safely, building off the most current information available, and updating the team on what is actually happening on the site. Interface easily with punch lists, safety notices, daily reports, field work directives, notices to comply, and checklists. Well, that wraps up the overview of ProjectSight. I'm now going to invite back Jimmy Getz to give you the deep dive into the budget and cost management module.
Thanks, Matt. So let's navigate over to the budget module and take a look. Our budget module consists of 3 different sections. First one is budget and commitments, dealing with the high-level budget, contracts, cost forecast, and purchase orders. The second section is your change management piece. with your potential change orders, subcontract change orders, change order request, and prime contract change orders. And the third one is going to be your payments, dealing with contract invoices, general invoices, and pay apps. Now everything starts in the budget with the high level budget. So let's click on the budget icon here, and that'll take us to this project's high level budget. And we're working inside the University Student and Wellness Center. I'll make this a little bit bigger here. And here we have our budget items. Now there's a lot to notice on this screen here. There's a lot of different columns. I'm going to walk through these here in a second, but let's start at the top here and with that add button. So there's really three ways to get our budgets loaded into the system. Number one, if ProjectSight is integrated with an ERP, such as Viewpoint or some other kind of accounting system, we can utilize a API link to transfer data from one system to the other. And that can be set up in a number of different ways, depending on the type of data that needs to be passed back and forth. The second way to add these budget items is through an import process, to import a spreadsheet of budgets, codes, descriptions, and original budget. And the third way would be to add the budget here within ProjectSight. And the budget code's made up of a number of different fields depending on your organization. In this case, we have 4 different drop downs. We can have up to 9 to build out your budget codes that will mimic your accounting your accounting system as well, so that you can go ahead and correlate those numbers together. So let's take a look at these fields. First one, they got the budget codes. Second one is a status. Within ProjectSight, you have the ability to build out your budget codes, and you can put them in a pending state if you want more of a placeholder. Once you're done editing those, then you can approve those and they're locked in. The third column is going to be your description column. And the fourth column is your original budget. And that's the minimum amount we need within ProjectSight to get going. Now, as we scroll a little further, we see the column called approved revisions. These are going to be change orders within the system that have been approved on the budget side. I'm going to go ahead and narrow it down here to look at a specific line item. So we can take a look at number 8 here, line 8. It's got some good data in it. So as we can see, the original budget was $795,000. Approved revisions were 25. That makes up our current budget of $820,000. Now there's also a couple other change orders in here on the budget side that are in a different state. So the money is allocated in the pending revision state for $23,805, and there is nothing in the approximate revision state of change order. So as the money moves and gets approved, it then migrates columns to give you that current budget. Now your projected budget is your current budget plus any pending or approximate revisions. So you can see here, now we're at 843 on the projected side. And that ends our budget columns. The next columns, and I'm going to scroll over here, are going to be coming from that contract side. That's our original commitments. And since there is a change order process that could happen around those commitments, we have approved commitments that make up our total committed costs. We also have any pending and approximate commitments, right? So that's a state of an allocation of the dollars that have yet to be approved, but they make up our projected costs. We also have an over-under field and a projected over-under. Further down the line here, we get to our actuals column. Depending on whether this is integrated with another system or not, this is one of the fields here. These fields here would be coming in dynamically from that API connection, right? So these can either be tracked within ProjectSight or this is kind of the typical fields that are updated automatically from that accounting system. Now that we've seen that from a high level, let's click into a budget code so we can look a little bit deeper at what we can view at that budget code level. So we've clicked into that subcontract for the site concrete. Now, want to notice here that we have the same columns we just talked about. The budget pieces are in purple or blue, depending on your resolution. Then we have the yellow columns for the commitment side. And then we have those green columns for the actuals. Going down from a row by row basis, we've got our original budget, right? We also have a budget transfer. So if there might have been a change order that I needed to transfer money from one budget code to another, maybe it's something that the general contractor had to eat that cost. We needed to maybe take that from a contingency budget item. We can do that within ProjectSight. You can transfer dollars from one budget code to the other. Further down here, we have our contract, and we can click on that in a second and look at that, but that's going to hit our original commitment amount. And then we have our potential change orders listed here. If I go back over to the budget side, we can see that 25 grand approved revision right there, and then we've got a number in the pending state. Further down the line here, we've got our contract invoices. Those are the ones that are going to come in and hit those actuals and populate that data. So that's from the budget code view. Now at any time, as you've seen with ProjectSight, there is consistent tools. So we have our comments tab, right? So I can make some comments here. There's also the history tab to track. And then within the budget codes in this area here, I can assign work to individuals. I can also link different records together within ProjectSight if necessary. So those tools are all available within this budget code screen. Let's click on the contract and take a little bit of a look at that and how that money is, how that amount is calculated. So now we're looking at Irish Concrete. That's the company that this contract is tied to. There's other information around Irish Concrete as the company. That's in a different section. This is dealing with just the contract piece. And I've got my general information. We've got our comments tab, and then we have our amounts tab. So this is the schedule of values that make up that contract. We've also got some detailed information. And then the second to last one is change orders. So within the contract, I can see that there has been a number of approved change orders. And I can see those approved amounts here in the middle. There's also a few items here that are in a potential change order allocation of pending or approximate commitment. Now these are all linked, and I can click on any of these to go deeper into that change order and look at those specific items throughout the product here. So let's do this next. Let's go back to our budget screen. I'm going to go back one. We're going to get out of this screen here. And one thing I didn't point out here is at the top here, we have a number of roll-up information here. And depending on how I want to filter my budget, I can go ahead and see the numbers. And this is for the overall project. As well, I can group by different, maybe phase, or let's see, category. And within that, I can see a roll-up that's balancing from those categories that I'm looking at here. So the purchase order category, it has its own roll-up as well as the different items within it. Further down here. Let's go ahead and back out of that. And we'll talk about the change order piece. So every change order in our system starts in the potential change order section. Now we have a number of them in here today, and we can of course filter and sort as well as save different views. So this is how I wanted to view this type of information. These are the fields that I chose and the columns that I chose for the log screen. Now I can go ahead and click in this. Oops. And go ahead and click in this pending owner change order for wrong size steel. So let me click into there. And this change order on the right side, I can see some more details. So this is a certain category of change order. There's a certain reason. These are all configurable dropdowns, right? Importance, reference days, a couple of fields there. Down at the bottom here, I have my different items, right? I've got some material, I've got some labor, I've got some markups. And I can scroll across and see those different states of allocation for this. And at any point I want to change the allocation, I can go ahead and do that, right? They're all at the approved revision state, which is fine. And right now it's at a pending owner status. And the status as well is configurable for your process. Once James Jackson is done and he's made the updates and maybe he's heard back from the owner, he wants to change this to approved, which will change the allocation on these items to approved. And that will then become an approved potential change order. Now, if I want to group those change orders together to send them over to either the subcontract change orders or as a prime contract change order, I can do that in the system here. So I'll show you a quick example of the prime contract change order. We'll go with a miscellaneous steel item here. And this prime contract change order is made up of two different potential change orders. We have FW Bulletin 3 and wrong size steel. So we just looked at wrong size steel that was grouped in here with this Bulletin 1. Now at this point, if I want to go ahead and choose my status and keep track of that information, I can do that. I, of course, have my comments tab here. And then at any point, I can link over to this. So maybe I want to send this as well, and maybe a transmittal to track that information. I can do that within ProjectSight. So I can link that together, define that, and send that off and track that information. And the process works the same on the subcontract side. On the payment side, we've got contract invoices, general invoices, application to payment. Let's take a look at the contract invoices here. There's not a lot to show, but let's go into plumbing one. Where this is pulling from the contract, right? I've set this up to pull from 2045 006. It's a plumbing contract. I've defined different types of fields here. And then what's pulled in from that contract is going to be those schedule of values that I can see here. And if I scroll across here, I can see where we're at from total work installed to stored materials, total completed value. There's a balance to complete. There's different types of columns here that allow you to look at that information. See, this is 65% complete. So I would go ahead and make my changes here to my dollar amount. I'll work on this invoice, put in my dollar figures there. And then at that point, I can go ahead and send this out. So I can go ahead and print this. We have a number of different reports we can work with here built into the system, as well as customized types of reports can be utilized. And I'll actually show you a applications for payment piece here, and I'll show you a report of that. So we have this application for payment in here. I'm not going to talk through all of the details here, but I do want you guys to notice that we do have a couple of reports we've customized in here that I want to view. So we'll go ahead and view this, and you can see that it aligns with the format that is typically done for those applications to payment. So those individuals that are do this every day, they'll understand that we've got the nice format. We built this report to cover that, and then we also have a report that allows us to capture the specific values here on this next sheet. So let's go back here to the budget and cost again. And just to reiterate, made up of 3 different sections, right? We looked at the budget piece, and then we linked to those contracts. We also saw the budget code items. We looked at change order management to look at potential change orders, and then we looked at prime contract change orders, so grouping those change orders together for the prime contract in one bulk item. And then we looked a little bit at the invoices and the application to payment. And there's a lot more to talk about with this, depending on how the our prospects are utilizing budget and cost for projects. So we'd love to talk a little bit more about that with your team. So please don't hesitate to reach out, and I thank you for your time.
Before we finish up today, just wanted to make sure that I provide you the location of additional resources, and if you have any questions that you have, how you get them answered. So first and foremost, and obviously, is our website. So projectsight.trimble.com has a wealth of information. In particular is our resources page. So at the top, if you click on resources, it brings you to all of our white papers and case studies and ebooks, additional webinars that we have going on-demand webinars, anything along those lines. And one additional thing is, if you have questions directly from our website, you have the ability to chat with somebody directly from our team. So in this case, we have Ann, Bill, and Patty are available to answer any questions that you have, and they're a fantastic resource to leverage as well. So with that, I thank you very much for taking the time today, and we look forward to providing you more information in the future.